its greenhouse gases, its fossil fuel use, and we're going to ask teams to reduce their environmental impact by at least 50%. Again, more points if you go beyond that. And then the final elements are less than 1% antibiotics, because antibiotics are an issue with our current food security, comparable nutritional value to conventional foods, conventional fish and chicken, and then minimal to zero harm to animals in creating this. So those are the rules. And if you go to xprize.org, you can see more details and how to register. And it's really about getting people. You know, I got passionate about space. It was Apollo and Star Trek. I started dreaming about it. You know, Tony, you have had so many amazing moonshots. Our mission is maybe this competition will get some kid somewhere excited about reinventing how we feed the planet. It's, you know, at the base of Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
No question about it. Air, water, food, right? I mean, if we don't take care of those three things, and they all affect one another. We're raising the way we're raising our food and the way we're eating currently is destroying our air and our water. So this to me is one of those tipping point elements that we can do something about. And I'm excited about the competition. I know that we have multiple prizes, and you can see the breakdown of how they work.
We're announcing it today on December the 7th, and we're going to give folks a few months to register. We're going to get feedback on these rules, and we're going to then be able to hear from people, well, you missed this point. We go out with a set of guidelines. We welcome feedback from the community. Clearly, there are going to be a lot of smart people out there who will say this isn't high enough as a bar, low enough as a bar. So Tony, we have a total of $15 million in prizes. Let me lay this out. We're going to have $3 million in milestone prizes. So teams along the way, as they hit certain targets, will get capital to continue to accelerate them. The grand prize is going to be $7 million. Second place is $2 million. And third place is $1 million. Again, it's not a winner take all. Some of these may be, easier to do in certain climates or certain conditions. But there's another one which is interesting. So today, the majority of the stem cell grown meats are made in a growth medium that's derived from animals. And so animals are harmed in this. So there's a $2 million bonus prize for the team that can create a breakthrough to develop an animal origin-free growth medium that can grow these muscle stem cells.
And like all prizes, it has a deadline, and deadlines are what get people to accelerate, compete, push, and we're talking about completing this in 2024. So it'll begin in 2021, so it's a few years, but it's enough time based on what we've seen historically to bring those prices down by 90% or more again and really have something that's doable and achievable. And we did this, as you know, we took the team, we've gone out to all the experts in the field. We didn't just pick this out of the sky, so we know it's doable. Is it a stretch? It is definitely a stretch. But as we've seen in so many X Prizes, people come through with breakthroughs when there's a timeline and when there's competition and when all these resources and minds are working at it simultaneously. That's the brilliance of what you've created in X Prize, and I'm so excited for us to launch it on a project that's so important.
Thank you, brother. It's a pleasure to be working with you in so many ways, especially on this. And I'll just say another part of this whole competition for those of you listening is for people to know this is possible and to know that it's coming. Right? So at the end of the day, we create the future we desire. We envision it, we go create it. And just like the idea of the Impossible Burger or Beyond Meat, those products didn't exist, even 3 years ago, but today they're on menus around the world. We're moving at light speed, and the rate at which technology is accelerating is itself accelerating. And we can use that acceleration to help feed 1 billion people and to help prevent this planet from environmental collapse.
Yeah, we all need a compelling future, and especially at a time like COVID when so many people have so much fear. Like I said earlier, life goes in seasons, and we're in winter right now. It's an emotional winter, it's a financial winter, but winter doesn't last forever. It's followed by springtime, and the best time to be prepared for spring is in winter, so when it hits, you're ready to go. And I feel like this is creating that kind of opening. I can remember when I was just a kid, I think I was in something like the 7th grade, I had this teacher in this class who was very resourceful, and he started reading us an article, and it was all about the world going dark. This is in the 70s when I was in school, and it was all about, oil and the loss of oil. And, everyone had that on their mind at the time. It was on the cover of Time magazine. We're running out of oil. And the article was actually about whale oil. It was from 100 years earlier. And when he showed us the article, we all were like staggered. And I never forgot it since I was a child that He said necessity is the mother of invention. And listen, we got necessity now with COVID because all the numbers I told you, like 1 billion people that are massively chronically malnourished, 9 million people dying, 24,000 a day, right? 16 a second. Those numbers are about to explode according to the UN because our approach to COVID with these shutdowns, which now the WHO doesn't even support, they just came out and said they don't think it's a solution because the unintended consequences, not only the emotional ones, the uses of drugs, suicide, etc., but just the food supply. They're estimating now that instead of 135 million people they were concerned about, it'll be 250 million people that won't be able to find a meal because places like Tanzania, 80% of their income is tourism and we've shut it down. There's not enough money for food. So we've got to find an alternative and we've got to find it quickly because the needs are growing. All this progress we've made on poverty, we've just taken a giant hit to that progress. Some people say 10, 20 years we've lost. I don't believe it. I believe we can restore it back. But in order to make that happen, we need real solutions. We need to put the focus of the best minds in the world, and we've all got to do what we can to support that progress as quickly as possible. And necessity is the mother of invention. We always find a way. That's humanity's strength. And I'm excited to be a part of this journey with you, Peter, and with the X Prize and with all the people that we're looking forward to welcoming and going on the journey with over the next 3.5, 4 years.
Yeah, brother. Thank you. Thank you for your philanthropy. Thank you for your guidance, your passion, your mission, your work that you do, even outside this, to feed, hundreds of millions of individuals. And let's get together on a next podcast, maybe, 6 months and see how many teams have registered and give an update.
That'd be great. I'd love that.
Take care, brother. Everybody check out xprize.org. Learn about the prize. Tell your friends, your scientists, your crazy friends. Let's get some people fed on this planet.
This podcast comes from X Prize, a global future positive movement of over 1 million people and rising, delivering radical breakthroughs for the benefit of humanity. Sign up to join us and support the movement that is making a change in the world 10 times faster. Whether it's lending a hand, a dollar, or an idea, we all have a role to play in making the future a better place. The only way to get the future we want is to create it ourselves. Learn more at xprize.org. See you next week.
The Tony Robbins Podcast is directed by Tony Robbins and produced by the Tony Robbins team.